I tell you what, I get lots of young people coming to me because they want to be in films, you know. And I can't find a word, but I think the least you can do is encourage them.
Sure, yeah, of course.
And I had a couple of kids from a film school. Well, kids, I mean, they were 20, early 20s. And somehow, I said, well, do they, I hope they, do they taught you to do day for night properly? And they said, what's that? Really? And so I said, well, you go back and you ask them. Next time you come and see me, you tell me what they say.
Yeah.
Which they did. And they said, oh, we are. I said, did you ask them? And they said, yeah. Oh, they said, you won't need that. Well, they don't. You see, the people in the film just don't bloody know, do they?
Extraordinary. But,
but the worst thing is, of course, what's happened to the working hours. And
it's absolutely ridiculous.
It's absolutely nonsense. And you see, the interesting thing was, and I mean, the reason when I came to him, Franco was supposed to do another film and had two hip replacements that went wrong. Sidney was supposed to do another film. Some actress called off at the last minute and the thing folded, and he went off and did a big television series.
Which Sidney?
Sidney Lumet, who sends you his fond love, by the way.
Yeah, no.
Sends you his fondest love. Yeah. And then I got calls from a couple of sort of young directors, which is fine. And over the phone, you let them know what they're going to get. But they sounded fine. I sounded very keen to work with this particular man. And then I got this phone call from this lady who was his producer or whatever it was. And she said, oh, we can offer you so much, you see. And I wasn't sure whether it was rather more than I ought to get for a day or rather less than I should get for a week. And of course it was the latter. And I said, I don't know, because I take no interest in what my crew gets paid.
No.
But I rather think you're closer to the Clapper boy than you are to me. And she said, oh, don't worry. She said, we can bridge that gap. So I said, the Royal Engineers couldn't bridge the gap, dear. And I phoned my boy Dominic, and I said, Dominic, what are you looking at for him? And I was right. They were offering me his money. Now, I'm not greedy. I've paid all my tax.
I know you're not.
But how are they going to pay my crew?
No, exactly. Yeah.
So the things that... Yeah. I'll tell you a lovely story about this boy, Dominic. You must have worked with Franco.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Yes, I mean, it was after Joseph Andrews we did that mad thing with Franco, extra takes or something. I think it was it Shepperton? Must have been Shepperton. You and I did a week's work with Franco.
Oh, for Jesus!
Yeah, that's right. Yes.
You know how that came about, don't you?
No.
Franco, that's right. Well, Franco always likes to shoot his film and then go back 3 months later when it's been through the country and do another couple of weeks' work.
That's right. Yeah.
And he showed Jesus to the principal backers, which were United Motors or something, which was an entirely Jewish firm. Yeah. Right. And they said, we like what you've done, but we don't think the Jews are being nice enough to Jesus. Did you know this? So Franco said, don't worry, darling, give me a week in Twickenham. Right. Yeah. And so we did it. We did a couple of days of sort of Lee Montague sort of saying nice things to Robert Powell, and Franco got and picked up all this other stuff. The idea that you should be able to do Jesus of Nazareth and the Jews not be nice.
That's right, but we had a lot of funny actors there, and
I'm sure.
Franco got sort of fed up with it, and he said, well, I will do the dialogue. I said, well, Franco, it doesn't really match.
Perhaps we should be talking about Franco. I must tell you this wonderful story about my operator now is a man called Mark Moriarty. Did you ever work with him?
No.
Very, very good. No. But very wicked. Right. And I'd noticed over there, did you ever work with Stark Films?
No.
Well, they're very nice people, commercial company. Jeff Stark, really nice man. And I'd been working for a long, long time. When I first worked with them, there was this lad about sort of 18 or something, as a sort of dog's body running around. A nice lad called Dominic. very willing, do anything for anyone. And every time I worked for Starks, there was poor old Dominic hurtling around, you know. Then, I mean, about 10 years later, I mean, the boy's now about sort of 28 or something, he was doing loading. And I said, oh, Dominic, you have come. I suggest they've let me start loading. He said, he said, they've been very good to me, but I can't stay here any longer. And I remembered myself at transport. I thought, no, you're right. And I came and thought about this, and we were just about to do Tea with Mussolini. And I phoned up Mark.
Lovely film.
Phoned up Mark, my operator, you see, and said, look, we're going to have an Italian loader, which is an unknown quantity. Why don't we take this boy who needs a break, he's a good lad, take him as a trainee. You know, so they paid him virtually nothing.
No.
What transpired, of course, was that the Italian loader was a girl who was very, in the camera truck, excellent, everything clean, tidy, ordered, all the sheets done. Put her near a camera and she has hysterics. You couldn't put her on a, you know, so ideal. Dominic falls on his feet. But Mark had never, my crew didn't know him, you see. So Mark said, well, you know, we're going to be checking the gear for a week down at wherever it was, John Venables. Send him along there and then we'll get to know him, you see. So this boy walks into the camera car place the first morning and Mark says, you gay, Dominic? He said, Dominic said, no. Oh, David must think you're gay or he wouldn't be interested. So now this poor boy, for an entire week, so we get out to Florence, right? And it's not me that Dominic has to worry about. He came up to me the second day. He said, Franco just put his tongue in my ear, he said. So I said, now Dominic, I cannot have you going through your entire career expecting that sort of thing from every director.
Oh dear.
They were wonderful. We had such fun on them. Maggie Smith, you must have worked with her.
Yes, I have, yeah. Very early on.
Lovely.
Pumpkin eater.
Lovely thing happened. We were shooting in the English cemetery in Florence. And I got everything lit and wander off and for one reason I'm reading the tombstones, right? And I come across one which said, this is the last descendant of William Shakespeare, Arthur Shakespeare Clench, 1879 or something like that. And so I immediately said I noticed Maggie walking down one of the paths. Come and look at this, you see. She hasn't set eyes on it for a second. She said, well, at least it doesn't say Dench, dear.